Hi, it's me, Candy. Did you sit on Santa's lap this year? Did you ask him for some watered down S&M and a very minimalistic understanding of how it works? Well, this Christmas, get exactly what you want. Welcome back, and once again, thank you for trusting me with your full spoiler movie reviews. That thing I do where I watch movies and then I tell you all about them. As always, I am unpaid and unsponsored, and spoilers. Spoilers, all the spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, you can go ahead and scroll. I won't be offended. Spoilers. Okay, here we go. This is the 2024 film Baby Girl, starring Nicole Kidman. A movie that looked to be hotter than 50 Shades of Grey in the previews online, but in fact was not. But is also a very good example of knowing the word consent without understanding what the fuck that entails. I'm gonna stop covering my eye now, that was bugging me. But anyways, what's this about? So Nicole Kidman is the CEO of a robot company that they're trying to install robots into places like Amazon to make life faster. She's married to Antonio Banderas, and she has 2 children, which I'm not super thrilled about children being anywhere in a film like this. I understand, she's supposed to be a family person and her family's on the line and that's a whole thing. But if we're going to have the topic of BDSM, there is no room for children in any of that. To which I really wish they would have just I don't even know, had them college age or something. But it's not that. But whatever, moving. So apparently Nicole Kidman and Antonio Banderas have really bad sex. He can't make her do the big O over stock.com. So after they do it and he falls asleep, she goes into the office and pulls up porn on her computer, lays on her belly and does it old school. Well, the next day while she's walking to work, there's this dog that's biting a man, and then it's gonna start running up to her, but this guy yells for it to come here. And he kind of wrangles it because it listens to him. And come to find out the guy, and that awoke something inside of her, which the corn on the cob feed that she was looking at was very daddy dom. So she's not unaware of the practice. She just wasn't expecting for that particular situation to get her all riled up. Well, it turns out that the guy that wrangled the dog is one of her new interns who's much younger than her, and she's forced to be his mentor, and there's some heavy flirting going on, and he's I think you like being told what to do. And so for the next, I don't know, probably 15-20 minutes, it's a lot of heavy flirting, but also I can't do this, but also I'm gonna kiss you, but also this isn't appropriate. It's literally back and forth like that the entire movie, legitimately. Her actual kink is to have everything that she's worked for and everything that she loves on the line for the possibility that she could use it or lose. And that's what turns her on. But every time they do it, she feels guilty and she's okay, we need to stop. And it's very hot and cold and it's annoying him. He's I'm just going to transfer out of here. And she's no, don't do that. So he's if we're going to do this, you need to say out loud that you consent to doing whatever it is I tell you to do. Which, okay, we said the word consent, but also your hand is all up in her majestic sea flaps. And you said something about going and getting transferred, which would reflect badly on her. So, the consent is not without manipulation, therefore that it is not enthusiastic consent, therefore that it is not consent. But even if we were to take out that section, he can't consent because she is in a position of power as his boss. So there is also no consent there. But anyways, after she quote unquote consents is when they start doing all the sort of S&M. I can't tell if he actually knows what he's doing. I want to say that the whole consent thing implies that he knows what he's doing and he's part of this life. But also, he doesn't seem to totally know what he's doing, because he sounds confused the whole time. And all he really does is have her, walk around on all fours and, lap up milk from a saucer and eat candy out of his hand and, lay on the floor so that he can give her the old bear claw, which this guy has humongous hands. And this goes on for a while. They have sex in a dirty public bathroom on the floor. They go to a rave club. And then his actual girlfriend, who also, works at the company somewhere, figures out what's happening, and she threatens Nicole Kidman to tell if she doesn't get, this position of, starting a thing that helps women move up in the company or whatever. So not only does she get the position, she has to go and tell Antonio Banderas, and Antonio kicks her out, so she goes to stay in the country home where a 20-year-old Walmart dom turns out to be swimming in the pool. And so they're talking, and then Antonio Banderas just like shows up. And he's so hurt that he had like a whole panic attack. And so Walmart Dom walked off, and turns out he took a job in Tokyo. And Nicole Kidman had to live at the country house for a while until her daughter showed up and convinced her to come back home. And so Nicole Kidman and Antonio Banderas worked on their marriage. And now a 17-year marriage knows how to have sex again. She had to teach him. The end. And if you thought that was boring, you would be right. It was boring. Or at least it was boring for me. Now here's the thing about movies like this for me. I'm going to have a much higher expectation of things like this than I think most people do. For the same reasons I don't like 50 Shades of Grey and I don't like Secretary. Well, all of those for the serious lack of enthusiastic consent. But also you have poor representation where it's usually people of power. And then there's the whole problem with the rating system here. And by that, I mean these movies deserve to be NC-17. If you're going to talk about the subject matter, it deserves NC-17 so that it can be properly depicted. And as we've seen as of late with Terrifier, NC-17 sells. By watering things like this down, you are making it easy for people to get into real trouble. Not to mention it's not as hot as you think. And you could argue, well, that would be going too far. You could just watch Corn on the Cob or Fee at home. I have to disagree because the vast majority of the audience that are going to see films like these are typically practicing themselves. They are not unaware. But also, this movie was so fucking boring. Like, the hottest parts of the movie you pretty much see in the commercials, and then, like, there's a couple of times of doing it, but, like, out of 2 hours of a movie, or almost 2 hours of a movie, there's maybe, like, 10 minutes of doing it, followed by, like, a zillion years of her crying, and being like, no, we can't do this. Ma'am, I don't care. I don't care about the marriage portion. I don't care about your job. I was here to see a love story about wienering, and I did not receive what I paid for. I'm gonna give it a 0 out of 10, which sounds mean, but like, it's a 0 out of 10. Okay, bye.